Gospel of Luke.
Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Good morning.
So in the gospel,
I'm at church
we
with
are told of a man
Kamala Harris, y'all.
from
Kamala Harris. So
the road from
that's what y'all
Jerusalem
hear.
to Jericho.
She's in Atlanta today, and she's actually at a black
And
church.
while he was attacked by robbers. We remember.
Listen in, y'all.
He was bloodied. They left him for dead.
And y'all will be able to see my reaction.
He was someone that passed on by, maybe with a glance of pity, but not more. So one person passed by.
I'm gonna see what she's talking about, y'all.
Lying in his path, and walks around him, not wanting to be bothered or obstructed on the path that he decided to walk. A second man does the same. But then, a Samaritan walks by. He sees the man, and he stops. The Samaritan bandages the stranger's wounds. He brings him to an inn, gives him shelter and a hot meal, and he saves the man's life. This parable of the Good Samaritan teaches us to love thy neighbor as thyself. These words are simple. We know them well. It is an essential tenet and a pillar of our faith, and that of so many others. However, one must ask, all people of faith living those words? Are all people of faith expressing those words in their actions? Do we have leaders in place who understand that in the face of a stranger, one should see a neighbor? And I'll tell you, I grew up in a church that took those words to heart. As a little girl on Sundays, my sister Maya and I would go to 23rd Avenue Church of God in Oakland, California, where we sang in the choir, we attended Sunday school, and where after church we would go to the basement and eat a food prepared by loving hands. And where I first learned the teachings of the Bible, and my earliest memories of those teachings are about a loving God. A loving God. A God who asks us to speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, and to defend the rights of the poor and the needy. And for me, like for so many of us, church is then a place of growth and belonging and community. A place
y'all please give me a thumbs up if you can hear me and see me.
Power of faith and fellowship. And in moments of difficulty and uncertainty, when the way is not clear, it is our faith that guides us forward. Faith in what we often cannot see, but we know to be true. Faith in what we cannot see, but know to be true. And I say that because in this moment, across the nation, what we do see are some who try to deepen division among us, spread hate, sow fear, and cause chaos. There are those who suggest that the measure of the strength of a leader is based on who you beat down, instead of what we know, which is the true measure of the strength of a leader based on who you lift up. And this moment in our nation must be about so much more than partisan politics. It must be about looking in and being guided by our faith to know what brings hope and what is truly the best expression of our strength in the way that we reach each other with kindness and with love and with sincerity in that approach. This is a moment that is challenging us of faith to to reflect on this moment in the context of our nation. We just applauded the young leaders who are here this morning. And I think so much of this moment, in the context of them, are young leaders, and what they have a right to expect, and what their faith teaches them that gives them rightly a sense of hope about where they belong and what they can do. And so this is a moment that is challenging, I think, our fundamental values, and challenging us as Americans and as people of faith. And as the Good Samaritan reminds us, it is not enough to preach the values of compassion and respect. We must live them. Faith is a verb. Faith is a verb. We show it action in our deeds and in our service. Here in Georgia, we've seen it playing out in real time in just the last many weeks, where communities have come together in the wake of Hurricane Helene. Right here in the Atlanta area, I saw the story of a reporter who was outside covering the storm live on television when he heard some screams. He dropped everything and waded into chest-deep water to rescue trapped in her car, carrying her on his back to safety. In a town a few hours from here, one mother and her children lost power for days. And as soon as it was restored, they started a relief drive, distributing food, water, and supplies, and opened their home to neighbors in need of laundry or a hot shower. On a visit recently to Tuesday, we met people who themselves had experienced extraordinary loss and devastation. Many who did not have electricity or running water. Yet every day they left their homes to go to relief centers to help perfect strangers. So what we have seen here in Georgia and in other states is faith in action. Individuals who know the power to shed light in a moment of darkness. We have seen the Good Samaritans walking among us. And for that reason, I say, as the scripture tells us, we then must remember that and not be weary. Let us not be weary in moments like this. Let us focus on what God shows us about the Good Samaritans walking among us, to remind us of the power, the agency, the ability, and dare I say, the duty that we have to come to another's aid in moments of need, to love thy neighbor. And what God is showing is that any of us can do that no matter who we are. And I know, and I learned this at a young age. I'll share with you a quick story. So during my final year of law school, I was a summer intern in the DA's office in Oakland, California. And I was working in the Superior Courthouse. And there was this one case that I got, and it involved a drug bust. And the police had arrested a number of people, including an innocent bystander, a woman who had been in the wrong place at the wrong time. And when I got the case, it was a late Friday afternoon. And most folks had gone home the weekend, and I knew in all likelihood the judge would probably not see her case until that following Monday, which would have meant that she would have had to spend the weekend in jail. Now, this woman had children. She is a mother. She had children at home, and I wondered if they even knew that their mother had been arrested, take care of them.
You all type in the comments. Are you all able to type in the comments? Do the comments work?
Everything was on the line for that woman. So I rushed to the clerk of the court and asked them to have the case called at me. And then when that didn't work, I pleaded with them. Remember, I was not vice president. I was an intern. So yes, I pleaded. And finally, the judge returned to the bench and reviewed her case. And with a pound of his gavel, she was free to go home. And she would go home to see her children and take care of them. And I never did get the chance to meet that woman, but I will never forget that moment. And I share that story to say that we have all in our lives from the earliest stages of our lives, had those moments where it has been revealed to us our power. And we should never let anyone take our power from us or in any way try to convince us we are powerless. And so I say, as we move forward, let us look at where we are and understand the lesson of the Gospel of Luke. Because right now, each of us has an opportunity to make a difference. In this moment, our country is at a crossroads. And where we go from here is up to us, as Americans and as people of faith. And now we ask a question. We face this question. What kind of country do we want to live in? A country of chaos, fear, and hate, or a country of freedom, compassion, and justice? The great thing about living in a democracy is that we, the people, have the power to answer that question. So let us answer, not just through our words, but through our action and with our votes. When we come across our brothers and sisters in need, let us, as the Good Samaritan did, see in the face of a stranger a neighbor. And let us recognize that when we shine the light in moments of darkness, guide our feet into the path of peace. And let us remember that while weeping may endure for a night, joy cometh in the morning. Thank you. May God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you all very much.
Come on, give our Vice President a cheer. You can do better than that. I am on the battlefield for my Lord. I am on the battlefield.
I actually haven't voted yet,
And I promise him that
but I can tell that you're new to the channel. If you have watched my videos previously, you will know that, I have a different thought about that, okay? But welcome to the channel. Welcome. I want to encourage you to subscribe, okay? I'm actually tuning in. I tell, obviously you're new to the channel, so again, welcome. But what I tell my subscribers, supporters is, I'm not here to tell you who to vote for. If you look at some of my previous videos, you can put two and two together and see what my thoughts are about that. But I'm not here to tell anyone who to vote for. You vote for the candidate that best lines up with your values and your beliefs. I just simply tuned in because I thought it was kind of shocking that she chose to attend a black church. Okay, there has been a lot of criticism, skepticism about her race, I guess you could speak, I guess you could say. And she decided to, in another to gain and retain the black vote, she decided to partner with an Atlanta church, and she decided to attend and preach there. Okay, it sounded like she actually gave a sermon there. Okay, but no, don't assume just because of the color of my skin, because I'm a black woman, that I voted for Kamala. Okay. There's someone in the comments. I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that. I don't know if you're referring to yourself. I don't know who you're referring to, but please don't come in my channel with any foolishness. Okay, so let me just send you on somewhere else with that. Okay. All right, y'all. So again, good morning. Thank you for joining me here on Andrea Speaks TV. I make my channel for adults. Okay, we talk about many different topics here on the channel. Survival needs, preparedness. Okay, we talk about events that are currently happening and have happened here, whether it's in our own country or around the world. And so I don't, come on here necessarily playing around. If you don't have, you don't always have to agree with me, but don't come being disrespectful in any kind of way, okay? And sometimes I give people a chance, okay? Go ahead on. This ain't the channel. When you want to just keep on going with it, I have to do what I do. All right, y'all. Good morning. I want to know whose first time watching the channel. Whose first time is it watching the channel? So if you tuned in with me, you will know that I just listened to our current Vice President, Kamala Harris. I don't know if I say her name correctly or not. She actually had a campaign rally last night in Atlanta. I'm going to talk about that in a separate video. But she, this morning, okay, which is Sunday, October 20th, okay, actually it's her birthday, okay. I didn't realize that until the members of the church congregation sang her happy birthday. So today is also her birthday. But, she got up and she spoke regarding, she just shared her thoughts. And so it seemed like a sermon, seemed like she was up there preaching. But, that's the time that we're in, y'all. That's the time we're in. Now, I'm here in the state of Georgia. Everywhere I turn, everywhere I look, everywhere I go, there's some type of campaign ad, political ad. All of these things are around, okay? So I just kind of wanted to tune in to see what she was saying. Not that I was looking for a reason to vote for her, but I like to hear into of each candidate. I like to hear what each candidate is saying. It in no way influences my vote, okay? As I shared, I think someone earlier in the comments mentioned, did I vote for her? I haven't voted yet at all. And I'm actually glad I haven't voted yet. Have you voted? Okay, it's entirely up to you. I'm not telling you that you need to go out and vote. I'm not telling you who to vote for. Okay, again, as I always say, you vote for the candidate you feel like best reflects. I would suggest you vote whatever candidate you feel like best reflects your values, your beliefs, and all of that. Okay. So again, y'all listen, put a poll in the comments. It should say, are you? Okay. I think there was a typo in spelling. It says, are you subscribed to the channel? 2 of you voted and said no. Okay. So I would like to invite you to subscribe to the channel, join our community. Please don't just judge my channel based on this one video. I talk about many, many topics here, okay? And I feel like all of my videos, there's value in my videos and that you can learn a lot from them. So make sure you subscribe, or if you say, okay, I want to check out some of your videos, and then I'll make the decision about subscribing. Again, that's entirely up to you, okay? All right, y'all. I am, let's see here. Let me go ahead and click this off. Okay, there was a situation I want to speak about that happened recently. I guess I'll go ahead and talk about some news topics. There was an incident yesterday, okay, and I got some information about it. I believe it happened off the coast of Georgia, okay? Speaking of Georgia, this is according to one of my sources. 7 people lost their life as a ferry dock collapsed on the U.S. Atlantic coast off of Georgia. Okay, let me talk about what happened there, y'all. Okay, according to sources, at least 7 people lost their life after part of a ferry dock collapsed. Okay, off the coast of the U.S. state of Georgia. The authorities had gathered for an autumn celebration. Okay, the incident, which sources say happened on Saturday, which was yesterday, caused at least 20 people to plunge, okay, or to fall into the Atlantic Ocean. with U.S. Coast Guard ships searching for missing people into the night. Okay, what is really going on, y'all, is my question. Okay, thank you everyone who gave this video a thumbs up. I appreciate you all. Give this video a thumbs up, and not only give it a thumbs up, but also subscribe to the channel. Okay, now the accident, it says, took place during a celebration of Sapelo Island's small Gullah Geechee community, who are the descendants of African slaves. Okay, now again, I'm just really reading this for the first time, and so I have heard something regarding this community. Okay, I think, if I'm not mistaken, could be a different area or a different group of people, but there was a group of people who were, I believe, fighting. Now, again, I could be wrong here. I could have I could have this story mixed up with a different group of people, but there were a group of people who were, I believe, were fighting for land. I don't know if this is the same group, but I'm going to do my research and get back with you all, okay? So what they're saying is the accident took place during a celebration of Sapelo Island's small Gullah Geechee community, who are the descendants of African slaves, okay? Island residents, family members, and tourists gathered for what was known as Cultural Day, an annual event spotlighting the island's tiny community of Hog, home to a few dozen black residents, okay? The dock was crowded with people waiting for a ferry, said Tyler Jones, a spokesman for the Georgia Department of Natural Resources, which operates the dock and ferry boats that transport people between the island and the mainland, okay? Let's see, Sapelo Island is about 60 miles south of Savannah, reachable from the mainland by boat. Okay, that says we and multiple agencies are searching for survivors, adding that 8 people were taken to the hospital, 6 of them with critical injuries. A team of engineers and construction specialists were scheduled to be at the site on Sunday to begin investigation as to why the walkway failed. Okay, my nose is kind of itching. Almost kind of like I want to sneeze, okay? Let's see. They're saying there was no collision with the boat or anything else. The thing just collapsed, and they're saying that they don't know why, okay? United States President Joe Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris offered their condolences and said they had told local officials they would provide federal support if needed. They're saying there was a quote by President Biden who said, "What should have been a joyous celebration of Gullah Geechee culture and history instead turned to tragedy and devastation. We are also grateful to the first responders at the scene." Okay. But that's pretty much what happened to this, y'all. They're saying the hog hummock slave descendants are extremely close, having been bonded, have been, and I quote, bonded by family, bonded by history, and bonded by struggle. Okay. That's a quote from Roger Lotson, the only black member of the McIntosh County Board of Commissioners. His district includes Sapelo Island. This person went on to say, and I quote, I'm gonna have to probably get up and blow my nose in a minute, y'all. Everyone is family. Everyone knows each other. In any tragedy, especially like this, they're all one. They're all united. They all feel the same pain and the same hurt. Okay, let me see if I can do some research on this. Yep. Y'all remember when I said earlier that I have heard of this area before, and it seemed like they were in some type of dispute? Hold on just a minute, y'all. I don't want to show this on camera. Let me just blow my nose here. Okay, sorry about that, y'all. Okay. This like it might be the area, y'all. Because in another article, I may not be able to read all of it because sometimes they make you subscribe to the get like a news subscription in order to read the article. But heritage and history of Sapelo Island has been under dispute for years. Okay, beach access is coveted. So listen to what they're saying, y'all. This is the same area. Okay, like I said, I thought I have heard of this before, but I'm making the connection now. Okay, so listen to what they're saying, y'all. The heritage, the heritage and history, according to sources, of Sapelo Island have been under dispute for several years, with descendants of enslaved people who created a vibrant community for themselves on Sapelo struggling to maintain their homes and sense of peace. Okay, a dock accident that left 7 people lost their life and 2 more Saturday when a ferry collapsed. A ferry gangplank, they're saying, collapsed on Sapelo, has only added to the sense of loss for the Gullah Geechee, who have called the island home for more than a century and a half. Okay, listen to all of this, what I'm saying, y'all. Now, founded after the civil former enslaved people of Thomas Spalding's cotton plantation, the island now is being eyed by developers and potential buyers, okay, because of its natural beauty and beach access. Okay, are y'all hearing what I'm saying? So this area, okay, I almost feel like I need to make this its own video. We just gonna keep going how we going, okay? So this area, right, where this tragedy just took place, and you all please share your thoughts. I'm not saying it's in no way connected to this. It makes me ask the question, well, what's really going on? Okay, but listen, let me give you a little bit of history. Okay, founded after the Civil War by former enslaved people of Tom Spalding's cotton plantation, the island now is being eyed by developers and potential buyers because of its natural beauty and beach access. Okay, a year-old ordinance opened the Gullah Geechee community, known as Hog Hammock, to larger dwellings, allowing homes more than double the former maximum size. Okay, in September 2023, local elected officials altered Sapelo's zoning law, more than doubling the maximum size of homes from 1,400 square feet to 3,000 square feet. Okay, residents have expressed worries of remodeling amid recent high dollar sales of 2 homes. A 1,518 square foot residence sold for $800,000 in April, and a 900 square foot dwelling went for $500,000 last December. Okay, at least 4 applicants for new residences have been approved since the zoning ordinance change. Okay, do y'all see the connection here? What are your thoughts on this particular story, y'all? Okay, now a 1,400 square foot zoning mandate was aimed to protect the island's 434 private acres from development and preserve the way of life of the Gullah Geechee. Okay, so again, y'all, you have this group of people who are there saying are descendants of former enslaved people. Okay, they have a history, a rich history. They have their own community here on this island. Okay, now yesterday, which is, they're saying off the coast of Georgia. Okay, but what they're saying is yesterday, okay, somehow there was like this dock that collapsed. Okay, 7 people lost their life. Okay, again, I am in no way making fun of what happened. Okay, this is a very tragic situation. I'm praying for the families of those who lost their life, praying for those who were injured. But again, y'all, like I said, okay, before I even went into the story, I said, wait a minute. I've heard of this area before in the news because I'm here in Georgia, right? And hey, I keep up with news. They have been trying to, based on my research, they have been trying to force these people out of the area, coming in, redeveloping, because this is an area of land that's sought after, that's desirable, has value because it is along the beach coast, basically. It's along the coast, okay? So the Gullah Geechee, okay, according to sources, fought the 2023 zoning law in a lawsuit trying to prevent the construction of larger homes on the island, on the historic island. McIntosh County, which also includes Sapelo, filed a lawsuit in July 2024 to challenge a referendum on the matter. But just 3 weeks before Saturday's tragedy, Superior Court Judge Gary McCorvey sided with McIntosh County, okay, on September 25th, halting the voter referendum championed by the community of Black slave descendants. McCorvey, the referendum was illegal under the state constitution and that the county should not expend funds to run the vote. On Saturday, island residents, family members, and tourists gathered for Culture Day to celebrate community on the island, home to about 35 Gullah Geechee residents who still live there full time. Though non-descendants now own several of the 83 housing units on the island, and undeveloped property records show about 20 people on the gangway as the dock collapsed, sending them plunging into the water. Okay, now when officials altered the zoning law last September, the commission's chairman, David Stevens, blamed the Gullah Geechee for necessitating the change by selling hog hammock properties to non-descendants. He said that the current generation of Gullah Geechee lacked the cultural appreciation shown by their ancestors. Okay. Someone put a comment in the chat. I don't know how I look like her at all. I don't think that. And I don't even know if I take that as a compliment, honestly. Okay. But listen, again, y'all, I'm not on here to talk about that. Again, I don't make my channel for children. So please, if you're very off topic, okay, you may want to find you another channel. Okay. But thank you to the subscribers and supporters who are tuning in. You're listening. You're sharing valuable feedback. You're giving your thoughts. But like I say, y'all, please, this is not the channel. I don't make my channel for children. We're talking about adult topics, meaning survival for preparedness. We're looking at things, issues that are happening in the world, and we're giving our take on that. Okay. Let's see. But some residents, they say, would keep fighting. Okay. One said it's going to be a long fight. They hope to wear us out for us to get tired of worrying about what happens if we lose. Said Maurice Bailey, whose family has called home for 9 generations. He said, I'm not afraid of losing something, so I'll keep on fighting. Okay, so again, y'all, we're talking about a community of people fighting to protect their land, their homes, the heritage of the area. They're being overtaken by what some people would refer to possibly as gentrification. And now all of a sudden, there has been a tragedy to strike this particular area. Okay, so the question I'm asking is, what is really going on? Was this something done intentional? I'm just going to go ahead and put this out there because, you know, you would think that something like this would not happen. But when you already have a situation that has been going on for several years where these people are trying to come in and basically take their land and redevelop the area, got to look at it from all different angles. Okay. All right, y'all. Do you all have any questions? Okay, any questions, comments? I want to invite you all again to subscribe to the channel, join our community. Okay, as I shared before, sometimes the topics that I talk about here on the channel, this platform does not want to promote. Okay, when you're trying to come on and share news and information with people to get them to create a plan for themselves to protect, to provide for their family in these unusual times that we're living in, sometimes this platform does not want you to, they don't want you to promote that, okay? They rather you promote what I call foolishness, okay? Other attention-grabbing measures, I guess you could say. And so when you see me, okay, just like the thumbnail of this video, when you see me come on and I make a title and I say, hey, a good time eating, here on the channel, okay, on this platform, here on this platform, the platform will promote things like that, okay? So I have to, or I'm learning, okay, as I try to work around the algorithm to get my channel out to as many people as possible so that you can do for yourself and think about it. And hey, wait a minute, something very unusual about the times that we're living in. Sometimes I'm learning that I have to do things like that, okay? So you saw me in the beginning. I was eating my munchies, okay, which they're all gone now. I had my juice, okay? So that's how I'm able to get my message out, okay? If you all can understand that. Y'all understand? So please don't just judge my channel by just one video, one thumbnail. I have plenty of videos, y'all, here on the channel full of information and news and commentary you can use. So be sure you subscribe, join our community, okay? And I thank you to even those of you all who have tuned, subscribe just this morning, okay? I appreciate you all. So again, the question that I'm asking is, what is really going on? What caused the tragedy that happened at that island? Okay, now, or not island, but at what is it called, y'all? Sapelo Island. What caused that? Okay, could it have been years of not neglect as far as keeping up with the infrastructure there. I have no idea, but the fact that this tragedy, okay, and I'm telling this because I'm here in Georgia and I keep up with not only what's, happening in my local community, what's happening in other places, but also, I do my research, right? I said, wait a minute, this particular area, I've heard of this area before where the people seem like they were trying to fight. And I said it here on the live, y'all. Y'all saw it in real time. But again, I'm gonna follow up with this story. I'm gonna see what's going on because again, y'all, something's very questionable about all of this. Okay. All right. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Okay. You all know I also weather here on the channel, and what I want to let you know is we have another hurricane going on. Okay, another hurricane. Let me give you an update on that. We know we've talked about back-to-back hurricanes. We had Hurricane Helene, which hit parts of Georgia pretty heavily. Okay, I did a video. We were impacted by Hurricane Helene as well. And then we also had what right after that was Hurricane Milton. Okay. There were talks of a tropical storm Nadine. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I gotta catch up because I gotta see exactly what's going on here. Okay. So right now it looks like they're talking about Oscar. Okay, Hurricane Oscar. So let me give you some updates on that. And there could be something else going on. Now, the first thing that I see when I look this up, it says that the Oscar becomes the 10th hurricane of the season. Hurricane warnings issued in the Caribbean. So basically what they're saying is that, let me hit this. They're saying that Hurricane Oscar is expected to remain a Category 1 hurricane today. Moves through the Greater Antilles. Tropical storm Nadine has dissipated over southern Mexico, but its remnants could still cause flash flooding in Central America. Okay, so for those of you all who follow the channel, you know that I did mention at the time it was Tropical Storm Nadine. But right now it sounds like they're saying that it has that it's kind of weakened, maybe downgraded over southern Mexico, but its remnants, it says, could still, my sources say, could still cause flash flooding in Central America. Okay, so it doesn't sound like in terms of wind damage and things like that, that this tropical storm Nadine is, going to do as much widespread damage, but they are still monitoring it due to the possibility of what they're causing or what they're calling flash flooding. Okay. Now, neither system, my sources say, is a direct threat to the United States, but Oscar could bring rain and strong winds to the Bahamas and Cuba. Okay, now I'm going to give you all an update on Cuba in just a minute. So Oscar is now a hurricane near Hispaniola, okay, southern Bahamas. Okay, Hurricane Oscar, my sources say, made landfall on Great Inagua Island in the southern Bahamas early Sunday morning as a Category 1 hurricane, and another landfall is possible this afternoon near Guatemala or Holguin, Cuba. Okay, my sources say that hurricane warnings have issued for the southeastern Bahamas and eastern Cuba, where hurricane conditions are expected later this weekend into Monday. Okay, hold on, y'all. Let me make sure my generator. Speaking of weather and being prepared, right? Y'all probably gonna hear some noise. Let me make sure my generator, because I'm using it also, but I want to make sure that it's charging. I have a way to charge it outside, but I don't have it hooked up currently, so I'm just charging it from the inside. Okay. Okay. So the hurricane flew around inside of Oscar Saturday afternoon and found its intensity is much stronger than originally thought. Okay, this is what they're saying. Oscar is the 10th hurricane of the season, and it has intensified since. It will push westward over the remainder of the weekend toward the eastern tip of Cuba and the central Bahamas, then be turned northeastward across the Bahamas in the week ahead. Little to no impact from Oscar is expected in Florida. Okay, so make sure, and I'll put this in the comments. Okay, make sure that you check your local weather report. Okay, check your local weather report so that you can see what they're forecasting for your particular area. Okay, and I'm gonna just put that in the chat. Okay, Be sure to check your local weather report. Are you all still able to hear me? I don't know if this sound of this generator is too loud. Be on the lookout for Hurricane Oscar. They're calling it Hurricane Oscar. Okay. All right. Let's see what else is happening in news. I said that I would give you all. Okay. So Hurricane Nadine. Okay. They're saying that Hurricane Nadine, or Nadine rather, they're referring to it as Nadine, made landfall near Belize City, Belize, Saturday afternoon with 60-mile-per-hour winds and a large shield of rainfall stretching across the western Caribbean. Nadine formed in the wee morning hours of Saturday north of Honduras. Okay. Nadine's remnant will be pushed westward across southern Mexico with gusty winds and heavy rain through the weekend. The system is not a threat to the United States. So they're saying, based on the trajectory of Nadine, that is no threat to the United States at this time. Okay. So let me also put that in the chat. And I don't even see where it was referred to as a hurricane. Okay, so I believe that Nadine was just simply a tropical storm. All right, so let me just put that in the chat. Did not become a hurricane. Only tropical storm. Nadine. That's what I've seen it referred to as. Okay. You all please let me know if you have any questions or any stories that I to talk about here on the channel. All right, I wanted to tell you all about another story. Let me look it up. There's currently a crisis in Cuba. Okay, now you may say, well, Andrea, I don't live in Cuba. Why even be concerned about the story? And as I always share, y'all, when I do talk about global world news, if it happened, okay, even in another part of the country, right, who's to say that it wouldn't happen here in America? Now, you all know that we talk about here on the channel, even just recently, I've been talking about the need to have backup power sources. Okay, I happen to have this lamp here in front of me. I have a generator right here on the table where I am. And so I want to talk about what's been happening in Cuba, okay? According to my sources, y'all, Cuba has now suffered, and I mentioned this just a few days ago, where the entire country of Cuba, the electric grid went down. It happened again, y'all, for a second time. But listen at what's currently going on. According to my sources, Cuba suffers a second power outage in 24 hours, realizing years of warnings. Listen to this, y'all, okay? Fidel Castro once called Cuba's power plants prehistoric, but the country still relies on them, contributing to the longest blackout since the collapse of its former patron, which is said to be the Soviet Union, okay? All right, could you let me know what are you referring to that's not true? Can you please elaborate or share what you're speaking about? Okay, listen to this, y'all, okay? According to sources, the experts had warned for years Cuba's power grid was on the verge of collapse, relying on plants nearly a half century old and importing fuel that the strapped communist government could barely afford. Okay, on Friday morning, their dire predictions came true as the entire island, okay, the entire island plunged into the most prolonged blackout it has suffered. I'm so sorry. Okay, on Friday morning, okay, sources saying, the country, the entire island plunged into the most prolonged blackout it has suffered in the 3 decades since its former benefactor, they're saying, and steady fuel supplier, the Soviet Union, collapsed. Okay, are you saying that there is no outage? Could you explain? Are you saying that they're telling us this in the media, but it's not really happening? Clifford, can you elaborate on that? Okay. Now, we do know that sometimes the media will tell us one thing, or they want to make us believe this and that, and it's simply not true. So do you have any information to support what you're saying? Now, Cuban energy officials managed to get power back up briefly to some parts of the island on Friday night, my sources say. But early Saturday, the state's utility company reported another, what they're considering, what is being described as total disconnection of the system, the second in less than 24 hours. Okay, government officials were said they tried to reassure the public, okay, that power would be broadly restored over the weekend, but acknowledged they could not be sure. Okay, the electricity director for the Ministry of Energy and Mines, in an interview on state television, and I quote, "We're estimating there should be important progress today, but could not assure that they would be able to system fully connected." Now, for years, sources say Cuba has been plagued by rolling blackouts that last a few hours a day, often longer in the countryside. Clifford, are you in Cuba? Is that why you're saying there's no power outage? I'm trying to get some more information from you. You know, I may have to do some more research on this, okay? But this is according to the New York Times. This is what they're saying. Havana residents described total darkness across the city late Friday, with lights twinkling only from hospitals and modern hotels that had their own generators. Okay. Okay. What are you seeing in Cuba? What are you seeing currently in Cuba? You say I'm in Cuba at the moment. What are you currently? Do you live there? Are you there to do some type of rest to help with what's happening there? Not to get personal all up in your business, but I'm just asking because you're saying that there's no power outage. Okay. Someone said we're an island of zombies staggering around with no idea where to go. That was one person who sent messages. His cell phone battery steadily ran down. Okay. Now, in the article, okay, you say you're there on vacation. I am on vacation, you said. So now the article says, okay, that the only areas that have power, it says, are hospitals and modern hotels that had their own generator. Okay, so could it be that you're staying at a hotel that has its own generator, and so you all have power there? Or are you seeing power in other parts of the city? Okay. All right, y'all. So, saying, okay, I guess they're also blaming the crisis on several factors. According to Cuban economists and foreign analysts, they're blaming the crisis on several factors. One being what they're calling the government's failure to tackle the island's aging infrastructure, the decline in fuel supplies from Venezuela, Mexico, and Russia. Okay, so you had no comment. Okay, so I'm just asking you questions because you mentioned this. I'm trying to see if you have any value to add to this, but then you said no comment. So you have the right to make no comment, but just please know that when you comment on my channel on a topic that I'm speaking about, and then you only want to, really kind of have limited information, it's kind of like, okay, well, why even say anything in the beginning? Okay, but nonetheless, thank you for your support, but you don't have to comment if you don't want to comment. Okay, you just open that up for me to ask you based on your comments that you posted. Okay, you open the door for me to ask you more questions about your comment. Okay, but now you don't want to comment, but again, it's entirely up to you. Okay, but if you are in Cuba, okay, I pray that you're safe and you're well. But this is what they are saying currently about this particular area. Okay, let's see. So they're blaming the crisis on several factors. One, the government's failure to tackle the island's aging structure. And then also what they're saying is a decline in fuel supplies from Venezuela, Mexico, and Russia, and a lack of capital investment in what they're calling badly needed renewable systems such as wind and okay. All right, y'all. So what are your thoughts on what's going on there? An entire country, okay, is said to be without power, okay? And not only that, okay, but they also now have the threat of Hurricane Oscar, which another article is saying is basically heading straight towards Cuba, okay? Heading straight towards Cuba, okay? So the subscriber, if you're still on, you know, if you're able to, okay, you may want to get out as quickly as possible because it sounds like this Hurricane Oscar is about to make the situation worse, okay? Let's see. So, okay, one source is saying that Cuba may bear the brunt of the storm, with forecasters suggesting between 5 and 10 inches of rain. Some areas facing totals as high as 15 inches by Tuesday, okay? This comes, as I just shared, as Cuba is already reeling with what's described as a significant power outage, its most severe blackout in 2 years. The power outage on Thursday came after the nation's energy grid went down. One of the island's major power plants, Antonio Gutierrez thermoelectric plant in Matanzas province east of Havana failed. It left millions in the dark, although some area electricity restored by Saturday. However, it is unclear when the power will be fully restored across the country. Cuba is accustomed, my sources say, to frequent outages amid a series of economic crises. Hurricane Oscar brings additional concerns as another major power outage occurred 2 years ago after Hurricane Ian. An intense Category 3 storm damaged power installations and the government took days to fix them. The storm, which formed rapidly on Saturday, took forecasters by surprise, they're saying, okay? All right, y'all, any other topics that we need to talk about? Going back to politics, okay? I did see some information just yesterday, okay? I believe President Trump spoke. I don't know if it was yesterday, but it seemed like now they're trying to, like I said, I listen to, I'm not here to tell you who to vote for, but I listen to what both sides say. It seems like his opponents, rather, they're trying to paint him as being unfit to run for presidency again. Now, I saw an article, I don't know where he was, but they were saying that he appeared to fall asleep at a, I don't know if it was a campaign event. He was speaking somewhere. Let me see if I can find that. Have you all seen that? Do you notice that they're trying to paint him as he's not fit? It seemed like they're trying to maybe bring up his age, or either get him to, I think, well, let me not speak on that because I'm not exactly sure. I need to do some more research on it. But I do seem like, because like I said, y'all, I'm here in Georgia. Every time I turn around, there's a political ad, a campaign ad. Whether I hear it, I see it, I'm driving down the highway, I see the billboards. It's everywhere here in Georgia, okay? Just one of those, what they would consider a battleground state. And I'm going to be honest, they need the black vote here so much in Georgia. That's why they're here this week. When I say them, I'm talking about the Democratic Party. They're here this week. They're coming back next week, I hear, with President Barack Obama and First Lady Michelle. Okay, so they're working overtime. Okay, they're going deep into overtime to try to gain and retain the black vote. Okay, very concerning what they're doing, in my opinion. But you know, that's just the game. Okay. Let me see if I can find the article. I'm not going to keep you all much longer, okay? But let me see if I can find the article where Let me see if I can find where he, my nose is itching, y'all. I'm sorry. Okay, so here's where they're trying to criticize him now, okay? According to a source, okay, saying that allegedly President Trump appeared to fall asleep during a Michigan event, fueling criticism from Vice President Harris. That's what I was telling y'all about. So listen, y'all, you can do your research if you choose and look at the video. But what they're saying is that former President Donald Trump appeared to doze off, okay, fall asleep, allegedly during a campaign event in Michigan's Oakland County on Friday, provoking further criticism from Vice President Kamala Harris' campaign. I know they couldn't wait to see that, or see that, not only see that, but say something about it. And following a string of canceled interviews this week that an advisor attributed to his, and I quote, exhausted state, okay? So I'm asking the question, you know, should we be concerned, you know, about this, okay, concerning President Trump? You know, he himself, okay, we know that he's a man who is older in age. I'm not saying that he's not fit. You know, I'm not even saying that in a negative way about him. But, you know, we're, what, less than 3 weeks away now, y'all, from the November 5th presidential election. Both sides, I feel like, have been doing a lot of, you know, traveling and campaigning. But my question is, should we be concerned now about, you know, President Trump's wellness, okay? If they're saying that he appeared to fall asleep. Now, let me see what the sources are also saying, okay? So basically, President Trump was attending a roundtable in the swing state of Michigan when he seemingly nodded off, they're saying, with the former president closing his eyes as an Oakland County community member talked about the region's education issues. Trump talked about his campaign schedule during the event, and jabbing, they say, at the frequency of his campaign events and asking attendees, and I quote, "You think this is an easy life I have, right?" That's what he allegedly said, okay? Right, that's what I'm saying. Of course he's, someone said, of course he's dozed off. He does a lot of campaigning. Yes, he has, both sides actually. But the question I'm asking is that a reason for us, those who, you know, maybe support his policies, things like that, should we be concerned? And I even saw a clip where, again, like I said, I know the Harris campaign could not wait to jump on this, but I saw where she made the comment that if he's falling asleep on the campaign trail, you know, basically, I'm paraphrasing, she didn't say those exact words, but if he's falling asleep now on the campaign trail, basically, what does that say, you know, about him, you know, being a president again, okay? Like I say, y'all, they're going to take a story like that and use it to his advantage, okay? He could have just took a moment. You know how sometimes you listen to something, or you could just, maybe he just closed his eyes and he was just, you know how sometimes you just, like, you just have to close your eyes and maybe you just get yourself together. I haven't seen the video yet, okay? But I do see where, you know, the media, they gonna show it, you know. Y'all know how the media do him anyway. But, right, they don't necessarily like him. So they're gonna try to show him, depending on the stations, right? They're gonna try to show him as much as possible in that negative way, okay? Yes, so listen, y'all, I want to invite you to subscribe, join our community, okay? If you haven't already subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button, and make sure when you subscribe that you hit the all notification bell, okay? So that you'll be updated whenever I do upload new content, okay? But that's what I said, y'all. They say he fell asleep, okay? Allegedly fell asleep. Excuse me. Now, it says the former president attended the round table hours before he was scheduled to hold a rally in Detroit, okay? So not only is he traveling different states, in this state one day, this state next day. Now, he was in Georgia, I think, this week. He's coming back to Georgia next week. Remember, I told you all here where I am in Georgia. Georgia is a battleground state. So he's having not only multiple events over multiple days, but sometimes he has, he or she, you know, both of them have multiple events in a day, okay? All right, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Is it Guido Planet or Gito Planet? I hope I'm sorry if I said it wrong, okay? Thank you for subscribing, okay? Yes, you know, I can't tell people what to do, but look at sometimes it's good to look at both sides, okay? See what both sides are saying. Um, right, and it's nothing wrong in saying that, okay? Um, okay, okay, gotcha, okay? It's nothing wrong in saying that. We can vote one way, because that's what we know. Maybe we grew up. That's what family, that's what the family did. But once you get more information, you start to realize and say, hey, wait a minute, something's not quite right here. Something's going on. When you know better, you do better, as the saying goes. Okay. Thank you all so much for your support. Okay. So the former president. So what I'm saying is, y'all, he is not only when I say he, now I'm referring to President Trump, who is the subject of this article. So basically, not only is he attending multiple events, multiple rallies within a week and over several days, but sometimes he has multiple events in one day. Who wouldn't get tired? I would probably get tired, right? Maybe you would too. And so he was attending the roundtable hours before he was scheduled to hold a rally in Detroit, which lasted for about an hour and a half. Okay, Harris's campaign referred to the former president as, and I quote, an exhausted Trump. Trump's bout of what they're referring to as drowsiness comes after he canceled multiple interviews this week with Politico reporting. An advisor told the show's producers Trump was, and I quote, exhausted and refusing some interviews, but that could change. Okay. As many people would have liked to, as many people did, okay, back during that time, okay. All right, y'all. So, and I believe that this particular news source did reach out to President Trump's group, but they did not have a comment, okay. All right, let me see if there's anything. All right, I just responded to a comment in the chat, okay? Okay, something else that I want you all to know about, I've talked about here on the channel before. A lot of these recalls, y'all, are still happening. They're recalling items. One particular store, Costco, is recalling several items among what they're calling listeria concerns. So according to sources, Costco has recalled several items over the last week and a half due to listeria concerns. Okay, 2 recalls were announced on Thursday. The ReadyWise, listen to this, y'all. Okay, speaking of preparedness, 2 recalls were announced on Thursday. ReadyWise 110 serving emergency protein bucket and Red's Southwestern grilled chicken mini burritos. Okay, right. And that is something concerning. It seems like a lot of processed food, foods that you can just heat up in the microwave or put in the oven. And that's why I tell people to make sure as much as possible. And I have a playlist. I actually have a cooking podcast, Cooking with Andrea Speaks TV. You can check it out here on the channel. I tell people as much as possible, okay, if that's what you prefer, cook your food at home, okay? That way you know what's in it. You can control the ingredients, the amount of ingredients, how much of this, how much salt, how much sugar you put in your food. A lot of these foods, okay, based on what I'm seeing, a lot of these foods are like already prepared, packaged, and it's like a quick, convenient, like ready to serve type thing, okay? On October 11th, they're saying, let me read this again. 2 recalls were announced on Thursday. The Ready Wise, sound like a tongue twister. Ready Wise, okay, 110 serving emergency protein bucket and Red Southwestern grilled chicken mini burritos. Days prior on Monday, 10 lots of El Monterrey Mexican grilled chicken and cheese taquitos were recalled. On October 11th, Costco announced Reina chicken truffle carbonara and tagliatelle grilled white chicken and portobello mushroom sauce had been recalled, okay? Ready Wise's notice said the recall was due to the let me read this again, okay? Ready Wise's notice said the recall was, and I quote, due to the potential listeria contamination in the chicken provided by one of our suppliers. The company based out of Salt Lake City, Utah. They're also a preparedness company as well. They advocate, and they're one of the companies that they have the emergency food supplies, survival needs, okay? So they're saying that the recall was due to, and I quote, due to the potential listeria contamination in the chicken provided by one of our suppliers. The company based out of Salt Lake City, Utah, urged customers not to consume the product, but rather return it to Costco for a full refund, okay? Earlier this summer, Ready Rise's larger serving bucket was referred to as, and I quote, an apocalypse dinner kit. Let's see. The prepared packages reportedly have a shelf life of 25 years. Okay, you all, for those of you all who have been subscribed to me for a while, I have shown you all, and I have a website. Okay, so please make sure in your time check out my website. I'm gonna put it here in the chat. But they had a recall. Okay, so if you have any of the Ready Wise, I have a partnership with my Patriot Supply, so that's how I'm able to offer you all emergency food supplies, survival needs at a lot of times discounted prices. So my products are not Ready Wise. So if you need some emergency food supply and survival needs, you can check out my website here, okay? And I'll just pin it in the comments. But the Ready Wise, due to possible, what they're saying is possible listeria contamination due to their chicken supplier, they've issued a recall. Okay, so the prepared packages reportedly have a shelf life of 25 years, which means if uncertainty strikes, a consumer will have time to wait to use emergency meals. Okay, the dehydrated and freeze-dried meals were created with the purpose of being, and I quote, a long-term solution rather than simply a quick or temporary fix. Okay, it's not, the food that you have in the survival buckets, and I've shown them here on the channel before. I have some. That's not something that it shouldn't be, okay, well, let's just open this and have it for dinner. Okay, this is like truly in a survival situation. So again, y'all, look into, and I'm sure that there's more research here on the channel. I may put something on the community tab. But Costco has recalled some items. Okay, if you're a shopper at Costco, make sure that you look at your items and see if anything that you bought recently or even maybe a while ago, because I don't know how far back this goes. Make sure that you visit the store if you have any questions to see what you need to do, whether get your money back or anything like that. Okay. All right, y'all, listen, thank you so much for your support. I appreciate each and every one of you all. I got to go now. If you're tuning in and you didn't see the full broadcast, make sure you subscribe. You can go back and watch the replay as soon as it's available. Again, y'all, don't be alarmed by the thumbnail of this video. Like I said, my channel is much more. Thank you. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for your support. I have been shadow banned. My channel has received a strike before, and all because you know, I have been trying to share information for over 3 years now to help people see the uncertain times that we're living in, make a plan to protect, provide for their families, okay? Whether it's growing your own food, I've shown you how to do that. I have a home gardening playlist. Not a copyright strike, but it didn't really affect my channel. Like, my channel wasn't shut down or anything like that. But I was accused of misinformation. So I got like a strike, but it was more like a warning, okay? And actually, all I was doing was speaking about something that the White House said, okay, on whitehouse.gov, and I was accused of misinformation. So basically what I'm saying is, if I were to come on, if I were to have done this live stream a different way, if I would have titled it a different way, or if I would have came in directly speaking about the topics that I wanted to speak about, my video, my live stream would not have been shown to the masses, so to speak. But what I'm learning in learning this algorithm and how to work around the algorithm, if you come on, if you make a video promoting what some would consider foolishness, okay, they're going to show that, okay? So what I'm learning is this platform, if you say you are enjoying eating or something like that, they're going to promote your video. So that is the way that I'm able to promote my information, grab people's attention using that, okay? And I'm not saying I'm always doing that, but I'm just learning, being, you know, smart, working around the algorithm, okay? But if I would have directly came on talking about how, you know, this is going on and that's going on, they're not going to a lot of times promote that. So I'm learning ways, I'll say, to work around the algorithm. Okay. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all for your support. Make sure you catch this live stream in full. It will be available on the live tab here on the channel. Make sure you check out some of my older videos that are very relevant today. I have videos that I upload, shorts. Now, if you watch a YouTube short, right, if you click the video, even if you get just a clip, like a 15-second clip of what I'm talking about, and you say, okay, well, let me see what else she's saying. If you click, I think in the bottom right corner, if you click on like the picture or the name of the channel, it should lead you to that original video, okay? Make sure you check out the community tab. I post information there. Sometimes I do quizzes, polls. It's just a place where I can share information with you all, and you can type, you know, questions or responses as well. I have my Cooking with Andrea Speaks TV playlist. Later on today, I'll come back on and I'll be eating some spaghetti. And I actually have that spaghetti recipe I actually showed you on my Cooking with Andrea Speaks TV podcast. As a matter of fact, let me put that on the channel as well. But I have some playlists that I want you to check out. So let me see if I can share this. Okay. And like I say, y'all, I gotta be going because I have somewhere that I have to get, okay? Again, thank you all so much for tuning in. I appreciate your support. Let me share this. Make sure you check out my playlist. And I show you, it's not just the recipe, I show you how to make the food. So I have a cooking podcast. And I just shared that, okay? And this particular one will take you to a spaghetti video, okay? I'm going to be making the same recipe later on today. Okay, any other questions, comments? And I actually made that video a year ago where I was cooking the spaghetti, okay? Any questions, comments, concerns? I also have a link to get merchandise, Andrea Speaks TV merchandise. Let me post that as well. The link is in the description, but I'll repost it. right, my generator is fully charged here. All right, let me put that in the... All right, you can get your Andrea Speaks TV merchandise here, okay? All right, y'all, listen, I want to thank you all so much for your support. I pray that you have a blessed day, that you enjoy your week, that this week is prosperous, this week is well for you, okay? And I'll be back on the channel, okay? So again, y'all, make sure that you subscribe, join our community. I appreciate you. There are probably millions of channels here on this platform, but for some reason, not only were you drawn to my channel, but you actually connect with my content, okay? All right, take care, y'all. Be blessed. Go back and watch this video as well as the many other videos here on my channel. Take care. See you in the next video, okay?